Okay, welcome back to Growing a Year. This is day number 9, and this phase of take this phase of beard growth is a little hard to describe. So, for the video today, I brought in an expert to give us the proper terminology. So, this is the wife. How would you describe this?
Scrubbly.
That's not a word.
Pricklish?
That also not a word. What is pricklish? Pricklish is like that's like the language that penises speak. I don't
Yeah, I'm out.
major in English, master's degree in literature. That's what that gotcha. So, as you can see, this is a difficult phase of beard growth to describe. It's also difficult for the people that you're interacting with because although it's clear that this is intentional, it's not just 2 days growth. It's hard sometimes to tell if you're going to grow a beard or if you just had, 2 weeks of vacation or something, and that's why it's like this. So your goal during this phase of beard growth is to try and make it clear that this is a conscious choice, that it's going to be a beard. Okay, there's 3 ways you can do that. Okay, first, you can trim your neckline. Okay, everybody's face is different, but the conventional wisdom is that you shouldn't have anything growing below the top of your Adam's apple. And you just kind of want to draw an imaginary line from the top of your Adam's apple back towards your ears. You want to make sure when you do this that you use a very sharp blade. If it's disposable, it should be brand new. If it's a straight razor, make sure that it's really in top shape before you take this on. And you want to use a clear shaving gel so you can see what you're doing, or you can use oil. I use coconut oil sometimes because this area right here is very sensitive skin. It's really prone to razor burn. So you want to make sure that you get this trimmed up in as few passes with a razor as possible, with as much sort of emollient protection as you can manage. Okay, not something you have to do every day. Luckily, the hair down here doesn't grow that fast, but you do want to make it look clean, tidy. Also, don't get too caught up on like really tight lines here. That the time for that's not arrived yet. These are early days. You just want to look clean. Okay. When you're ready for the real sharp lines 3-4 weeks from now, you go to a barber and they can make it look really sharp and crisp, and that's great. But right now, you just want to look like this is a conscious grooming choice and not, the sad outcome of your tragic Overwatch addiction. Okay, number 2. A lot of times guys, especially guys who don't have beards, assume that you just stop grooming and a beard is the result. Okay, and that, at a basic level, that is true. But because you're going to have this rough, scruffy looking period down here, you want to make sure that all your other hair on your face is on point. Okay, so I'm talking about hair in your nose, hair in your ears, and also your eyebrows. Now, as far as your nose and ears are concerned, doctors say that those hairs there perform an important sort of protective purpose. So you just want to trim them so that they're not visible. You don't want to get in there and try and cut them down to nothing. You definitely don't want to take tweezers to them. It's not good for you, and it hurts like a bitch. Okay, so you don't want to do that. You definitely, for those areas, want to use a personal trimmer, nose hair trimmer, or you want to use the little scissors that have the rounded ends because you're not an idiot, right? Okay. As far as eyebrows are concerned, it's a very personal matter. Many different shapes, many different styles, but I think there's one thing we can all agree on, and that is when you get the weird hairs that are like sticking out, that are really long, that are longer than the rest of the eyebrow, those have got to go. Okay. I personally trim them individually with very small scissors. I know some guys who pluck them. Whatever works for you. I find plucking really painful, so I don't do it. But the bottom line is you want to get those ones that are sticking out because nobody wants to look like the villain in a 1970s kung fu movie. Okay, so you need to take care of those things. Okay, step number 3. This is probably the most important thing you can do through the entire beard growing process, but it's especially effective here in the early days where things are kind of rough and stubbly, and that's get a haircut. It doesn't matter what the style is, long, short, fade, whatever. It doesn't matter. The key is that your hair looks tidy. It should be obvious to the observer that you've had a haircut recently. Okay? This can be difficult if you're trying to grow your hair out, if you're trying to get some length on your hair, but you can go to a barber and say, hey, I'm trying to grow my hair out, but it looks kind of shaggy right now, and they can even things up for you, and you're not going to lose all your length. And those of you who still can do that, who still have enough hair to actually grow long hair, I envy you and I hate you. But getting a haircut is vital. Okay, get a haircut, get one regularly, keep yourself looking trim, just like with the facial hair, the eyebrows and the nose and whatnot. This down here, it's going to look a little rough for a while. Okay, so keeping your hair really, really sharp, really crisp makes it obvious to people that this is a conscious choice. One note on barbers, if you've got a barber who does a good job on your hair, take care of them. Like, if you have appointments, be on time. If you live in a country where tipping is appropriate, tip them. I know several people who are barbers, and I also know someone who's becoming a barber. And these folks work really hard to help you look a little bit less like the filthy animal that you know you are. So take good care of them. Okay, those are my 3 tips for this weird, scrubbly, I guess she called it, phase of beard growth. If you do these 3 things, your days of looking scrubbly will definitely be approaching a middle. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I don't need to be booped up.